In her 7-decade career, Dame Judi Dench has played nearly every female character in William Shakespeare's plays, from Juliet to Cleopatra. Dench and her late husband even used to call Shakespeare the man who pays the rent. And that's the title of her new book, written with her friend Brendan O'Hay, and it's out now. First, on CBS Mornings, she shares stories from a lifetime of iconic Shakespearean roles and much more with Anthony Mason.
How long have you been here?
40 years.
It's a gorgeous spot.
Well, I love it, I must say.
Dame Judi Dench was here at home outside London during the pandemic when she got a call from an old friend.
Brendan rang me.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to come down and talk to you about all the parts in Shakespeare you've played.
And what did you think about that idea?
Well, it was a saving grace.
Brendan is actor and director Brendan O'Hay.
I mean, famously, you're not great by yourself, so we just kind of rescued each other, and we rescued each other through Shakespeare.
How many hours of conversations did you have?
I'd say about 120. I mean, a lot of bickering.
She's difficult.
Yeah. It's all a facade, all that kind of Dame Judi stuff.
Those conversations led to their new book, Shakespeare, the Man Who Pays the Rent.
Shakespeare's always been important to you.
Yes, always.
From the moment she saw her older brother in Macbeth.
And he walked on and said, what bloody man is that? And I thought, this is Shakespeare. This is swearing.
Her first acting role wasn't Shakespeare.
I was a snail at my kindergarten school. I had to creep on with this enormous shell, and all I had to do was put my horns out. And then quite suddenly, I got a bit excited, so I stood up. And I can remember Miss Meeby, who was the headmistress, who was standing at the side. I heard her say, "Get down, Judith." I think I was 6.
She was 22 when she made her professional debut as Ophelia in Hamlet at the Old Vic.
That's huge, isn't it?
It's fairy tale stuff.
But her first reviews weren't glowing.
What did you think when the critics were tough on you?
Well, I expect I cried a lot.
She was given another part in Henry V.
Except that Lawrence Harvey, who was playing Henry V, thought I ought to be a taller actress, so he only ever looked here.
He looked right over you.
I kept trying to attract his attention. It never worked.
Whilst I at home starve for a merry look.
Some of her now legendary Shakespearean performances have been preserved on film, but Dench doesn't like to look at them.
It's because you can't change it, Anthony.
Yeah.
And it irritates you so much.
I put my hand into the bed and felt them. And they were as cold as any stone.
But you did Henry V, didn't you, with Kenneth Branagh and Michael obviously playing.
Michael Williams played Michael Williams.
That's her late husband, who also starred in it.
Now, if these men do not die well, it'll be a black matter for the king that led them to it.
Did you watch that one?
Oh, yeah, you bet.
Oh, that's good.
What's that?
It's a little Roman soldier.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's there then.
Her eyesight is poor now, but her memory is still sharp. With her daughter Finty's help, we went through some of her mementos.
Oh, John Stride, that's his tree, right out there.
He has a tree out there too?
He does. God, he was beautiful.
Dame Judi plants trees in her garden for friends she's lost, or for people she admires, like Shakespeare.
What does it do for you to name the trees for your
Well,
friends?
it just reminds me of people. It's just nice to look at trees and thinking, you know, Johnny Stride's doing very well.
Acting awards clutter her bookcase, including her Oscar for Shakespeare in Love.
But I know something of a woman and a man's profession. Yes, by God, I do know about that.
Dame Judi's movie career didn't take off until her 50s, in films like A Room with a View with Maggie Smith.
And I divine it, Charlotte. You had an adventure there.
It took you a while to really embrace film.
Yeah, well, I was told that I would never do it. I went for an audition once for a film, and the director, he said, I'm sorry, but he said, No, you haven't got the face for film, he said.
What did you think when he said that?
I didn't expect anything more.
But then came Bond.
I've no compunction about sending you to your death. But I won't do it on a whim, even with your cavalier attitude towards life.
She took over the part of M, 007's boss, in 1995.
Bond. Come back alive.
It made her an international star. She was asked about her 8 Bond films during a recent book tour with O'Hay.
And the question was, very sophisticated, what does Daniel Craig smell like?
Not like Pierce Brosnan.
You look like hell. When's the last time you slept?
But the role was no laughing matter for Dench.
Why were you so serious?
Too frightened.
You were too frightened?
Well, I knew Bernard Lee very well indeed, and he played M before I took over from him. I felt a great responsibility.
A portrait of Dame Judi as M hangs in her study.
It's quite fun if you FaceTime Ma and she's sitting here. And, you know, it's pointing upwards and you've got Ma and Ma.
Dame Judi will turn 90 in December. For her 81st birthday, she got her first tattoo, the Latin phrase, carpe diem.
It is savour the day.
Ah.
She sat there like that.
Well, there was also that woman lying there
yeah.
having her whole leg done, wasn't there?
Yes, there was.
You
The
didn't,
whole leg?
Yeah.
you didn't consider that?
Certainly not, no.
It was her daughter's idea, by the way, to get the tattoo. She's like, what do you get what do you get for someone who has everything?
Right.
And she said, how about a tattoo? And I love the image of her with her arm out.
So much wisdom.
So, but yeah, and for someone who's played so many roles,
Yeah.
I mean, what's next? Is she considering doing?
Well, part of the problem now is she has macular degeneration, so it's very hard for her to see, as we alluded to in there. So it's hard for her to read scripts. She has to have friends read them to her to memorize. But she has like a photographic memory. So, you know, I think there will be parts, but they're going to be fewer.
I'd like to see her come back. There's a new James Bond coming, and maybe she can come back as that.
I would love it.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody would love it.
She has this humility about her.
She's a lovely woman. I mean, she's a lovely woman. She has just a wonderful sense of humor.
Yeah.
I remember that. I think it was on Instagram during the pandemic, her and her grandson.
Yeah, they did some dancing in the
and
backyard.
it introduced people who were much younger, obviously,
Yeah.
to who she is.
Yeah.
Anthony, thank you.